Hello everyone. In this video, we will see what are the control measures of water pollution. The effect of water pollution depends upon the type of pollutants and its concentration. Also, the location of water bodies is an important factor to determine the levels of pollution. Water pollution to a larger extent can be controlled by a variety of methods. Rather than releasing sewage waste into water bodies, it is better to treat them before discharge. Practicing this can reduce the initial toxicity and the remaining substances can be degraded and rendered harmless by the water body itself. If the secondary treatment of water has been carried out, then this can be reused in sanitary systems and agricultural fields. The best way to prevent large scale water pollution is to try and reduce its harmful effects. There are various small changes we can make to protect ourselves from a scary future where water is scarce. Fortunately, there are some simple ways you can prevent water contamination or at least limit your contribution to it. Reduce your plastic consumption and reuse or recycle plastic when you can. Properly dispose of chemical cleaners, oils, and non biodegradable items to keep them from ending up down the drain. Maintain your car so it does not leak oil, antifreeze, or coolant. If you have a yard, consider landscaping that reduces runoff and avoid applying pesticides and herbicides. Use environmentally friendly products by using soluble products that do not go on to become pollutants. We can reduce the amount of water pollution caused by a household. Another way is to join or get involved in with pollution prevention is to practice efforts on your own or join projects or program. Some of these are available with the Environmental Protection Agency website. Now let us see some of the preventive measures of water pollution. Wastewater treatment. Wastewater treatment consists of removing pollutants from wastewater through a physical, chemical, or biological process. The more efficient these processes are, the cleaner the water becomes. Next one is the green agriculture. Globally, agriculture accounts for 70% of water resources. So, it is essential to have climate friendly crops, efficient irrigation that reduces the need for water, and energy efficient food production. Green agriculture is also crucial to limit the chemicals that enter the water. Storm water management is the effort to reduce runoff of rainwater or melted snow into streets, lawns, and other sites, and the improvement of water quality. According to the US Environmental Protection Agency, it is important to avoid pollutants from contaminating the water and helps to use water more efficiently. Air pollution has a direct impact on water contamination as 25% of human induced carbon dioxide emissions are absorbed by oceans. This pollution causes a rapid acidification of our oceans and threatens marine life and corals. Preventing air pollution is the best way to prevent this from happening. Plastic waste reduction. 80% of plastic in our oceans is from land sources. In order to reduce the amount of plastic entering our ocean, we need to both reduce our use of plastic globally and to improve plastic waste management. Without water conservation, we won't go very far. It is central in making sure the world has better access to clean water. It means being aware that water is a scarce resource, taking care of it accordingly, and managing it responsibly. Then, why does water need to be preserved? Water pollutants include both organic and inorganic factors. Organic factors include volatile organic compounds, fuels, waste from trees, plants, etc. Inorganic factors include ammonia, chemical waste from factories, discarded cosmetics, etc. The current scenario has led to rapid consciousness about water preservation, and efforts are being made on several levels to redeem our water resources. Industries and factory setups are restricted from contaminating the water bodies and are advised to treat their contaminated waste through filtration methods. People are nowadays investing in rainwater harvesting projects to collect rainwater and preserve it in wells below ground level. Water pollution is prevalent and is an area of high alert. Water needs to be preserved and valued today for us to live tomorrow. The water that travels via fields is usually contaminated with all forms of garbage, inclusive of fertilizers, that it's swept along the way. This infected water makes its way to our water bodies and sometimes to the seas, endangering the flora, fauna, and humans that use it along its path. The treatment of polluted water removes the existing contaminants or reduce the concentration of the pollutants to make the water fit for the desired use. Some of the ways to do it are industrial treatment. The raw sewage needs to be adequately treated in a water treatment plant before it is released into the environment. Water is passed through several chambers and chemical processes in the water treatment plant to reduce the amount and toxicity of waste. Next one is the denitrification. When nitrates present in the water get converted into gas, it is known as denitrification. It is an ecological approach that prevents leaching of nitrates in the soil. It stops groundwater from getting contaminated. Next one is the ozone waste water treatment. The ozone waste water treatment method has become very popular. In this method, an ozone generator breaks down the pollutants in water. Ozone oxidizes bacteria, organic material, molds, and other contaminants in water. Then the septic tanks. Septic tanks treat sewage right at the place of the location where it originates instead of treating it in any far away plant or sewage system. This system is usually put to use at the individual building level. The sewage gets separated into solid and liquid components and treated separately. Now, before concluding, let us go through one incident which is called as the Minamata incident. The Minamata incident marked one of the worst cases of water pollution. In 1932, a factory in Minamata city in Japan began dumping its industrial effluent methyl mercury into the surrounding bay and the sea. Methyl mercury is incredibly toxic to humans and animals alike, causing a wide range of neurological disorders. Its ill effects were not immediately noticeable. However, this all changed as methyl mercury had started to bioaccumulate inside shellfishes and fish in the Minamata Bay. These affected organisms were then caught and consumed by the local population. Soon the ill effects of methyl mercury was becoming apparent. Initially, animals such as cats and dogs were affected by this. The city's cats would often convulse and make strange noises before dying. Hence, the term dancing cat disease was coined. Soon, the same symptoms were observed in people, though the cause was not apparent at the time. Other affected people showed symptoms of acute mercury poisoning such as ataxia, muscle weakness, loss of motor coordination, damage to speech and hearing, etc. In severe cases, paralysis occurred, which was followed by coma and death. These diseases and deaths continued for almost 36 years before it could be officially acknowledged by the government and the organization. Since then, various control measures of water pollution have been adopted by the government of Japan to curb such environmental disasters in the future. Thank you.